Hello and welcome back to Ink Piece, Episode 8, I ink I've run out of sequel taglines. In this video you'll see me design 3 fantasy adventure characters, which I'm going to make available as art assets to my patrons and later on via itch.io and my website. Like other art assets I've made, including modular character sheets, isometric maps, and even giant robots, they'll be licensed for both personal and commercial use with attribution. You may be wondering why. Something I have personally been wondering about recently is why have I started making regular art process videos and what is it about them that appeals to me? After all, they can be a bit tricky to plan. I need good light, and I need to be careful not to accidentally get the top of my head into shot when doing some particularly minute detailing. Both questions have the same answer. My rage against the machine-generated images, commonly and erroneously referred to as AI art, and a desire to channel that rage into something positive. I'm not going to go into the deeper ramifications of increasing automation in society or whether actual artificial intelligence is even possible. There are links to some excellent video essays on those subjects in the description below. No, in this video I'm only going to be talking about the issue as it has affected me, an artist and game designer. In case you were unaware, the so-called AI art tools are essentially what used to be called machine learning. They are trained on human-made art scraped from the internet without compensation or attribution in order to churn out mishmashed approximations based on prompts requested by the user, who usually has to cycle through dozens and dozens of horrifying results before they get to something that is just about acceptable. The AI descriptor is just a buzzword, like how the hoverboards available today are just motorized two-wheeled skateboards. The hoverboard does not hover, and the images, while artificial, have no intelligence behind them. Within the various creative spaces, including the indie RPG sphere, I saw these tools being used more and more. Some were unaware of the tool's basis in art theft and looking into them primarily for budgetary reasons. Others, however, were and are clearly aware of the ethical issues and either choose to ignore them or genuinely believe these things are the future of art. I've seen RPG creators include the Frankenstein imagery in their games and lie when confronted about it. Worse, I've seen others churn out gaming resources made using machine-generated images and then have the audacity to charge money for them. Now, as someone who both makes art and uses it for games, I know it's not cheap. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time to develop artistic skills of any nature. It's also a sad reality that most people who want to support artists are usually unable to afford it. Thus, I can understand the appeal of these tools that let RPG writers quickly generate passable images to decorate their games, for free. If only the tools had been trained on art volunteered by artists with compensation and attribution, there would be nothing really wrong with them. However, they were not, and I do believe that a lot of people using them were genuinely unaware of this. But what of those who were aware? The proliferation of these tools has only really exacerbated the already pretty dismal public perception of art. It is paradoxically both of great value and worthless. Ground up as all things are by the capitalist machine, it is simultaneously incredibly desirable for marketing and advertising, but also not worth paying for. As one grifter wrote in their newsletter on the subject, "Why should I pay hundreds of dollars to an artist for a bunch of images that may not be exactly what I need, when I can get them for free at the click of a button?" Leaving aside the irony of this individual also selling machine-generated products for actual money, it is a sentiment that has only grown in popularity. Even before the advent of these tools, artist peers of mine would share commission requests they had received, where the prospective client would refuse to pay the already low listed price because, as they put it, another artist they know does the same thing for half the price. However, even that is a lie. No one artist can do exactly what another artist does, let alone a machine, and that's amazing. The creators of these tools, like the capitalist system that birthed them, have tried to make art disposable, ephemeral. They want to erase the humans behind the art, their intent and their skill, not realizing that those are all fundamental ingredients to what makes something art. They ignore that these machines, promoted as artificial intelligence, literally cannot function without input from actual human minds. So, why do I make open license art assets? Why do I make art process videos? Because I want to provide an ethical option for game designers with limited funds. Because I want to celebrate the act of making art. I was recently incredibly happy to see a veteran game designer make a game that includes and was inspired by the previous set of character art assets I made. Other designers have incorporated maps into their games made using my isometric assets. I co-hosted an itch jam with Goblin Cow earlier this year, calling for open license art assets, and the result was a wealth of affordable, and in some cases even free, resources for game designers to use. There's a link in the description. It was deeply encouraging to see that no, one need not resort to using the latest tech bro grift. There is a treasure trove of human-made art out there for you to use. I make these videos because I want to take joy in the process of creating, and not get bogged down in the pursuit of perfection in the end result. That was the case when I still used Instagram and Twitter. My focus was always on making the finished work as perfect and marketable as possible. I am a human, not a magician or a machine. I do not believe in innate artistic talent. What you see me do in these videos is the result of time and practice. Whatever improvements you see in my next creations will be the result of what you see here and now. It's an ongoing journey, and it can and should be an enjoyable one. Oops, I guess this turned out to be another video essay. Surprise! If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you very much for watching. In case you missed it, I recently published a Stravagante actual play podcast. It's a 3-part adventure which I think works as a good showcase for the RPG. You can give it a listen here on YouTube or on Spotify, links in the description. If you're interested in keeping up with my art and projects, you can subscribe to my free newsletter, the Penflower Post. You can support my work via my website, itch.io, or Patreon. Until next time, bye bye.